Hello and welcome to another video for the channel, today with a favorite of mine that I've played a few times on console and for the first time on PC for this video, that being the shark action RPG game, Maneater. Developed by Tripwire, who I have seen more often with Killing Floor 2 and the upcoming third installment, serving as publisher and developer. When this game was announced back in 2020, I was immediately interested because of one thing, to play as a super-powered giant shark. It also helped that sharks happen to be one of my favorite all-time animals, and this game got the feel of a shark down and went nuts with the concept by adding much more to it than meets the eye. So did Tripwire trip up and make a bad game? Am I biased because it's a shark game? Is this game much more than it actually appears, or am I talking out of my ass? It's time to dive into the waters of Port Clovis, eat people to make Papa Bruce Jaws proud, and become the top of the food chain against all odds and try answering just how good is Maneater. For a majority of Maneater's game will take place in the city of Port Clovis, through the lens of a reality TV show the same name, Maneater, taking on the mantle of a female newborn bull shark. Within Port Clovis are a diverse array of flora and fauna and architecture that, to show them all, is difficult to do in a short time. There's also many types of predators that are possible to find and fight, from hammerheads and their side-eyeing, great whites being massive in size until later in game, makos becoming food, and sperm whales being some of the most aggressive predators in the game. There's also a lot of people that will be around that can be eaten at leisure, since the entirety of Port Clovis is almost one massive pool, with many interconnecting pipe systems, pools, and even being able to navigate the land a bit to get to the various objectives of Port Clovis. It's also fairly simple to navigate the world as a shark. It does feel like controlling a shark with how Tripwire worked it out to make it functional, but also fun to do so. The mainland looks fairly generic in comparison, thankfully that's not the centerpiece of looks, to the underwater environs that are all over the game world, with some beautiful areas to explore, at least after the beginning bayou area. Even after turning down the graphical settings for more stable frames, Maneater is still very beautiful in its underwater areas, most notably with the Gulf having the most diverse biomes with coral, rock formations, and various caverns in the area. That's not to say the rest of Port Clovis doesn't look nice. Each area does have some distinct features that give them more personality, from it being an uncovered nuclear reactor or various dull fields. Maneater uses the underwater setting not as a crutch and as more of a source of inspiration to give the underwater world its charm that many people may not have been able to see as well as a shark could. Even the DLC area in Truth Quest, despite being a smaller area, has some interesting biomes to it, from the futuristic buildings, different fauna types. There's even a lot of damage to the area, giving it a post-war aesthetic charm to it. Maneater is by no means a bad looking game, at least when exploring the underwater environments, which when playing as a shark is far more important than the land areas. And even though the NPCs look like trash, with some exceptions, it gives them a robot chicken charm to go along with the dark humor present in Maneater. So unless I really wanted to show off Maneater's graphical chops, which I can't really do with the PC port, I'll move on to the gameplay of Maneater. Maneater puts a bull shark into the playable role for the game. After a beginning segment to show off how destructive a bull shark can be and effectively Metroided into the role of a newborn is when Maneater really starts to show what it's about. Swim like a shark, attack like a shark, eat with no remorse, and even take creatures in the jaws and thrash them about to eat them, or even use the tail to whip them at other enemies to stun or damage at the same time, while also being very quick while in the water, are just part of the basic mechanics of Maneater's gameplay. Though the main objective of the game may be to take revenge, that isn't how the game shows itself off. Through exploring the world of Port Clovis, the bull shark will not only be fighting apex predators to become the top apex, there's also mutagenic containers to give EXP points, license plates to find and eat, these landmarks that can be found that give some of the dark humor that the game contains in it, with some of them being a kaiju door, discarded tires, a SpongeBob poke-at. Even some references to Point Break and Ocean's 11 can be found in the game. It's pretty easy to say that the devs had fun with making this game's humor throughout finding just landmarks. And even hunting specific species in the various biomes of Port Clovis are available. Truth Quest also added time trials to test mobility in short bursts that don't overstay their introduction. There is also a wanted system where when too many humans are eaten, we'll have bounty hunters come after the shark, and through the infamy system, the hunters progressively get tougher and even have their own apex hunters coming in that lead up to bigger boats, more missiles and explosives that can be whip shot right back at them, even getting electric barriers that cause damage if lingering in them too long. Through the various activities, the bull shark will not only gain experience, it will also gain new evolutionary traits from a stand at the location that helps navigate for prey in locations, gaining more health, greater speed and mobility, or even gain more health and EXP gains from eating. The shark can upgrade these to make them more potent and powerful as the game progresses. These activities can also give these evolution traits. In order to equip these various mutations and even the evolutions are the grottos, serving as not only a home base in their respective areas, they are also the fast travel points and are the only place to apply EXP to the various mutations and evolutions, which are fairly interesting. There's the bone evolution that gives better defense and does more damage to hunter boats, counting them like melted butter. The bioelectric that does electric damage over time that devastates local fauna and give electric-based flare to moves, and Shadow from finding all landmarks that gives a type of combination of bone and electric that does damage over time, and it has a slowdown ability to evade and do massive attacks to enemies. Then with the DLC is Atomic, giving the bull shark radioactive green and a hammerhead look, but also a more enhanced shadow form that does a lot of damage to just about any enemy type, while also giving a Godzilla beam attack that eviscerates opposition. With these various evolutions comes incredible levels of customizations to various encounters with set bonuses depending on how many of the set are used and even the unique traits that they may have, especially with the bodies giving their unique powers. This is where the game really shines, is when the shark is able to become a mini kaiju monster of destruction and brings that joy of playing the game into it. There's also a tiger shark body that gives EXP bonuses that helps in the beginning of the game. Other than that, it becomes very useless as the game progresses, at least when the game is working right. I love the game so much that I completed it at least 3 times on PS4, PS5, and now on Steam. The game is a joy to play and experiment with the various evolutions and finding everything the game offers, so I'll get more into my grievances later. For now, I'll get into the story of Maneater and its immersion that it provides through a regular playthrough. There are some spoilers going to be here, though Maneater has a very simplistic story to it, but if spoilers are a massive concern, I'll put a timestamp around here to skip this part. Ready? Here we go. Maneater's story mainly focuses on a female newborn bull shark. She has no name in game, and her notable interactions with shark hunter Scaly Pete. After Scaly Pete captures the mother shark and grafts a knife wound on the playable shark, the bull shark's mission is to become the apex predator, fighting through Port Clovis and defeating the apexes of the area, from a barracuda, an alligator, to an orca, and a sperm whale. While doing these various turf wars, is also checking in on Pete from time to time and seeing how he tits, and the shark even eating Pete's son, perpetuating the cycle of revenge, coming to its eventual apex at defeating Pete with the bull shark dying in an explosive finale. Just kidding, the shark turns out fine. Somehow. After the main campaign is when Truth Quest activates, leading the bull shark tracking down a new apex predator, and after tracking it down and fighting various animals with similar evolutions to the shark, fighting the apex leviathan and becoming the ultimate apex predator. Through this, the game is also presented through an in-game show called Maneater, showcasing the shark's activities similar to a nature bio series that comes off as a parody of Shark Week. The story is not the most important part of the game, though what it does is serviceable and gives more immersion to the zaniness and satirical nature of Maneater, which when given that perspective, the game does extremely well. It does feel like watching a shark going about its day and rampaging along its way, even if the announcer can get a bit grating from repeated voice lines. Maneater does its job as a shark action RPG very well, with feeling like a shark in its movement and capabilities, and taking a spin on the concept with a superpowered shark, leading to an immersive sandbox game with a touch of revenge storyline and added post-game DLC, expanding the world a bit more, making the simplistic story still fun to go through. I am biased when I say I loved Maneater. Sharks are one of my favorite animals, and some of my favorite movies are Jaws, The Meg, and even The Meg 2. Bruce from Finding Nemo is also a personal favorite of mine, and I would happily recommend this game if not for some issues I had with it on PC. First off, I played the game on console when it came out on PS4, and so the performance issues I could tolerate for the most part since the game is fun. And when it got ported to PS5, it became a much more stable experience, even if the game never got something resembling a New Game Plus. The PC port, on the other hand, is just bad. Really, really bad. It's unoptimized, stutters like a bad Switch port, which is ironic actually, and crashes more than a Burnout game where that's a key feature for takedowns. I was able to get it working through some tweaking of the resolution and lowering the graphics settings. This did not help too often, unfortunately. Though the main game took me about 8 hours, the issues I had added to it because I was trying to get it running as smoothly as I could. From what I could find and figure out, aside from it being a bad port, is that the game really doesn't like newer hardware, and from what I understand, older PCs or parts seem to have less issues. Though that's only one reason I found. The other one was that when Truth Quest came out and the game got ported to current gen consoles, the PC port got janked and became very unstable. I can say that the PS5 version is actually consistently stable compared to PC and the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck also runs it a bit more stable compared to my 3080 Ti on my laptop. Take that with a grain of salt, since I couldn't find concrete answers to any of this. Another glaring issue I noticed was that Maneater, it has Denuvo! Unfortunately, that's not the cause for the performance issues. I checked as in-depth as I could, but this game still has it despite 3 years after its release on Steam. This is one of the worst ports of a game I have personally experienced, with it crashing as much as it did. Truth Quest made it crash on me almost 10 times within 5 minutes, for example, and it actually made me more pissed off than I thought I could get with a game that I cherish as much as I do. To say I am angry at the PC port is obvious, but more than angry, I am disappointed that this port is so bad because I loved it as much as I did with its console counterpart. It is available on current and last gen consoles. It even has a Switch port. It is on Steam, which is what I played through for this video. Unfortunately, I cannot suggest the PC port unless there's a willingness to go through various hoops to get it to a stable state to play through, or if with absolute certainty using a PC that it will tolerate, which is unfortunate since the game is short and enjoyable to play when it's working. Playing it on Steam Deck is a bit more stable, but not by much since the game still has many issues within it. It is also on Game Pass if curious to try it out, and its PC variant is also on Game Pass, though it comes with the same stability issues as Steam from what I can understand. This is a fun game when it's working as it should, which is possible to get it to. I just can't recommend it for its PC port unless it gets fixed, and since it's been so long since it released, I doubt it at this point. Even with the small amount of mods I tested, didn't help much. Now is the coming end of this video. Leave a like, comment, or even subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Is Maneater actually a good game? Is the PC port as bad as I made it out? Am I justifiably disappointed in the port? Hopefully the next game I cover will be a lot less infuriating. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!
Well, that was a somber tone to end that video on. Shame. I guess it's Brian time again. Honkai engines, start-o.
All the work of creation has been completed. The inevitable day has arrived. The embryo of philosophy will reshape for us all of reality. I swear on truth.
What would you like to know of this? Again, the ill tidings manifest.
I swear on calendar.
Together as one. All things in this world have their laws, yet strategies human creations!
I swear.
Let's improvise. Did you come? Where are you going? The threads of destiny aren't chosen. The seal of ill fate descends.
Insolent. I swear on human deity.
Stay in step.
Life and death.
What would you like to know this time? Here, it's all yours.
The omniscience sees through you. Converge and awaken.
Insolent.
Still waters of oblivion I guide the wandering soul. I weep for the departed. Dust rain, the two shall fall.
Insolent.
Dreams do come true.
I swear.
Have a noble soul! Don't be shackled by the past!
Destiny's core purpose. Memories are ever changing beneath the silent waters. Lies an endless abyss!
With all my power, rise into
Another journey begins. Distance, fleeting as the dawn state, destined for oblivion. Take your positions. It's my turn. The mood is set just right. Let the show begin! Again, the ill-timed manifest.
information. In accordance.
Did you come here of your own volition? Still waters of oblivion guide the wandering soul. Let's improvise. Here, it's all yours. Distance, fleeting as the dawn stays, destined for oblivion. The threads of destiny aren't chosen. Stay in step. Dreams do come true.
Together as one.
Another journey begins.
The omniscience sees through you. Information. In accordance.
Let's improvise. The seal of ill fate descends. Still waters of oblivion guide the wandering soul. What would you like to know? I weep for the departed. Dust rain, the two shall fall. Again, ill-timed manifest.
Converge and awaken.
Blasphemous.
This is destined for oblivion. Here, all yours.
With all my power, light up with
Memories are ever-changing. Beneath the silent water lies an endless abyss! Dreams do come true. Did you come here of your own volition? Witness the will of the weak! Chief, can you hear me?
All I need to know is, did we lose them?
I think we both know the answer to that.
Center show inbound Covenant boarding craft. We are re-engaging the enemy.
We are leaving this ship, platoon, and engaging the Covenant on solid ground.
We're entering the ring's atmosphere in 5.
You sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon, one with vast, unimaginable power.
The flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life.
There is no choice. We must activate the ring.